Welcome to Doing the Most, the series where we talk about the misadventures of entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Georgie, execution strategist and serial entrepreneur. This series is here to get real about what entrepreneurial life truly looks like. We are driven, persistent, hardworking, ambitious. We are human, and these are our stories. Please note, all Season 1 episodes were previously recorded for our video series. Welcome back to the misadventures of Doing the Most. Today, our guest is Candace Johnson, the founder of 925babe. Candace, can you tell us a little bit more about you and who you are and why you founded this company?
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Georgie. I definitely think it's important for the viewers to know that we go way back. Me and Georgie went to high school together. Yeah. We're actually limo for prom, so it's great to just see her again and to work with her on the project. So 925babe is my business. It's casual workwear clothing for women. So after working in like the entertainment industry for a long time, I really made this with like women who work in creative fields in mind. So like one thing I make sure to include in all of my designs is that it's chic, it's affordable, and that it's comfortable for working women. So like clothing that you can wear during your commute to work, but you can also wear afterwards to like a happy hour event, or just like if you want to hang out with friends after work.
Nice, and that's really inspirational. So can you talk a little bit about why you started that company? Was it, you mentioned a little bit, it was like a need that you had, but what was the pivotal point where you said, I have to be the one to solve this problem versus waiting for someone else to kind of produce clothing like this?
Well, honestly, I'm really just a busybody. I was in law school and I was working for Nickelodeon at the same time. So like my work day for Nickelodeon started at 7:30. I would get off at 4:30 and then I would commute to Queens from the city and start school around like 6:30. And I actually really hated law school and didn't want to do it anymore. So I completely dropped out. And I was just like, well, what do I want to do with my life? What am I passionate about? What do I, where do I want to go next? Because I like being like in leadership. I like, being bossy. So I was just like, if it's not law, maybe I should try out business and see where it goes with that. I had previously worked in New York Fashion Week and I really liked being in that environment. And I just loved being able to like see the designers, the models, and like the pieces and how everything connected. So that really made me say like, okay, I'm going to start a fashion line. I'm going to start a business. And there was this program called Factory 45 that was for entrepreneurs. And pretty much within that program, they really taught you how to start your own fashion business and how to do it sustainably. So I signed up for it. I was so happy when I got in. And that's really like how I started and like where the journey began. And I would say that at first it actually wasn't 925babe. It was going to be called Trendsetter and it was going to be streetwear for women. But then
repeat that. You said streetwear?
Yeah, it was going to be a streetwear line for women, and it was going to be called Trendsetter. But then I started talking to just different women in my network and like putting out questions online. And like you said, when it came to the niche, people were like, we don't need more streetwear. We spend most of our time at work. We need comfortable clothing to wear to work. So that's really kind of how I fell into my niche. It was like a market analysis. And then I was just like, oh, like I love work and dressing for work. So like, let's do it.
Nice. What I want to point out real quick to the audience is the part where you just mentioned about doing your research, right? A lot of people just kind of jump right into something and they think they know what the audience wants. And then when they do, without doing surveys or questioning or asking other folks, they might ask folks about, here's my logo, does it look nice? Or here's my social media, can you follow it? But what you did was really important to ask folks, this is what I'm doing. Is this a need for you? Is this a want for you? And then from there, you're able to recognize like, wait, there's really no strong demand for more streetwear, but there's a huge demand for that workwear that could double as like after work and like, events and like something more functional. So that's really great that you did that. You're about to say something?
I would definitely say like ask as many people as possible. Like if I could go back in time, it would have been an even bigger sample set of people that I asked. So definitely do your research, guys.
Nice. And what made you come up with the name 925babe? Was it because of similar to like the program that you went to, or like what inspired it, or like what is the meaning behind the name?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think like when you think of a name, it should kind of tell people like what they're getting, what they're about to buy. And then I also just based it off of like other names I really liked that I felt like my brand identity and like brand tone kind of aligned with. So like I was like, all right, like I want to do this name. I don't know what to think of. I don't know what to name it. So one of the brands I liked was Matt Brand. She's a young Black female entrepreneur, and that's her brand. And then I was looking on her page, like, all right, like, why did she name it this? Like, how did she come up with this kind of? And I saw that she had something called Working Girl. And I was like, oh my God, that would have been so perfect. Like, she already took it. And she's making, like, it's not even really like workwear clothing, but that's just what she calls it. And it's dope. So then I looked at that. And then I'm also a really big fan of Nasty Gal. So even though that company like kind of sold, it's still very inspirational to me, just like how she started her business and like where she took it. So I thought about those two names. I was like, all right, like these are so perfect. Like what can I do that's similar? And then I kind of just thought about what my clothing line was and what it stood for. So 9 to 5 is a play off of your 9 to 5 job, pretty much. I think a lot of people think sometimes like it's an area code or like something like that, but no, it's just a play off of those words. And then Babe is pretty much just like you're a young, fun girl. So that's really how the name came about, just kind of like put it together. And I think it has a nice ring to it, so.
Yeah, once you, literally my brain, like, I don't know if you saw my face, like it just clicked, like 9 to 5. And I was like, whoa. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And I think, you know, people would love that, hearing the story behind that and seeing the inspiration. So are you still currently working a 9 to 5 while you're on your business venture?
You would have asked me like maybe I think like a month ago, I wasn't. So there was like a 3.5 month period where I was solely focused on launching. But now I am working a 9 to 5 while running 9 to 5 Babe. It's definitely a balance. I would say like if you can, when you're like really about to launch, don't work a 9 to 5. Like put all your energy into it. Like, yeah.
Definitely. And so does the job that you work in the daytime kind of feed into or support 9 to 5 Babe in any type of way? You know, maybe like industry wise? Yeah, go ahead.
I would say financially.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're putting all of like most of our check back into our business.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't recognize that. A lot of people just figure it's, oh, you know, just quit your job and focus on your business. But how are you going to be able to fund your business? How are you going to be able to cut, you know, business expenses? Because businesses do cost money to run. And sometimes you don't, not everyone is able to have like a family fund or a trust fund to kind of tip into to invest in their business. And I know you did one of the more modern ways to get your business funded, which was a crowdfunding campaign. So could you talk to us a little bit about that crowdfunding campaign experience and the results from it?
For sure. Crowdfunding is so nerve-wracking. You really have to like wrap your minds about it and be like confident in yourself because it's extremely transparent. Like people can see how much money you're hoping to get. People can see who's donating to you, how much they're donating, and how much you've made so far. So you're really putting yourself out there. And it's about just seeing like if your product will work for the market. So like sometimes like if you reach your goal, it's great. Like, you know, enough people are interested in the product, you know that it can do well. Other times you might have like a flexible goal where it's kind of just like, you know, if you don't reach your goal, you still receive the money and you kind of just do what you can with that to keep your business moving forward. That's pretty much what I did. So yeah, it's definitely a process. Yeah, it's just a process. It's really hard. It's not as easy as it looks.
Yes, 100% would agree to that. I've done a few crowdfunding campaigns myself, and what people have to recognize too is that a lot of these crowdfunding campaigns that we see like blowing out of the water, there was, you know, sometimes 6, 12, 18 months beforehand where the founders and the team were prepping for that crowdfunding campaign, you know, emailing. It's like voting, right? They were emailing, doing groundwork, hey, when I launch my campaign 2 years from now on December 15th, 2020, can you donate $10? So, you know, and that's a lot of things that people don't see on the background. And I realized that from learning from a couple of friends as well, like, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. So kudos to you for, you know, launching one, being transparent, and then gaining the traction. So now I want to switch gears a little bit and start talking about your company. So how is 9 to 5 Babe doing in terms of the production? Because I saw your journey a bit on Instagram with like, you know, creating the items. And can you talk a little bit about that journey did you know how to sew? How much did you really know about the fashion industry before you dove in?
Definitely. So I mentioned the program that I was in. That pretty much taught me a lot about the fashion business side of things. But I think designing was kind of just something that I naturally took towards. Like I had just like a natural flair for just being like someone who loves clothing, but then also just having like a background in art. Like I was always like, you know, someone who drew, someone who painted. So that made it very easy for me to sketch clothing. So I would say that and just what I learned in that program really helped me to like get a good foundation to start off of. Of course, there's a lot more for me to learn. And, you know, I learned from my peers in the industry. And I live actually like really close to a fashion school. Like everyone in my apartment complex goes there. So I'm always like in the elevator, like, hey, like, how are you? Like, let's connect. I have a question about this. I have a question about that. So it's really good. And it's just like a nice way as well to kind of like connect with people who are like-minded and to just like, you know, get some connects for your business.
Nice. And talk a little bit more about like the pieces that you've created so far, and like what are your goals and like hopes for the next like 6 months to a year for the business.
Okay, cool. So right now the first collection, it was called Summer Fridays, and pretty much people that work in corporate, they'll know like summertime is the best time of the year to work for a company because you get off early on Fridays. So like you might do like a half a day or like maybe like not even have to come in for the day. So like this collection was all just about like, all right, it's summer, it's Friday, you're getting off at 1:00. What are you doing after work? You're gonna link up with your other friends that work in the city. You wanna look cute, you guys might go to a museum, you guys might go get food, etc. But you still have to look professional and nice at work. So the first collection was made with like 100% cotton, very similar to linen, so it's very lightweight and like breathable. So if you're in New York during the summer, you know, you're commuting on the subway and it's like so hot, so sticky, so crowded. So you're gonna need something that's really breathable. So the fabric definitely caters towards that. And then there's a shift dress, which I'm wearing right now with a blazer. And then the shift dress is from my company. The blazer's from Zara, just in case anyone's interested. And there's also 2 pairs of jogger pants. So the first pair is limited edition. I love them to death. It's a light gray material that's plaid, very stretchy. That one's not 100% cotton. It's 97% cotton, 3% spandex. And then there's another pair that's like darker, kind of better for fall, and it's like wool based. It's a wool cotton blend. So with that one, it is a little, actually they're both pretty warm, but I would say that one just plays more into like fall and winter. Like I wore those to work last week. It was great. And then afterwards to a networking event. And it was really funny because my sister actually wore them too. But that's pretty much like the perfect use case for the meter jogger pants. Pretty much, you know, you can wear them to the day to work and then afterwards to like a networking event or whatever after work activities you enjoy.
Nice. And then you were talking a lot about like the fabric. Is there like a social component or just like a more economical component to the company while you're choosing the fabrics you're choosing, or just is it more so focused on comfort?
That is a great question. So it's really a combination between comfort and being like eco-friendly. So like the goal for 9 to 5 Baby is to be way more sustainable in the future, but right now we're really focused on just using cottons because we know how harmful polyester is to the environment. So like a lot of clothing you see in the stores that are business casual or like workwear are made of polyester. It's a cheaper fabric, so it's really like good in your pockets, but like the damages to the environment are like incredible, just like pollution wise, animal wise, and like the actual chemicals that it's releasing into the air. So yeah, it's definitely a social component. So we're like staying away from polyester, and then in the future we're hoping to use fabrics like cupro, tinsel, bamboo, and hemp. So we'll see how that goes. It'll definitely be like an interesting process and a lot of experimenting.
Nice. That's really good to have that, you know, that consciousness. And I think a lot more companies these days are being more conscious about what we put into the world because, you know, we all want to be here to enjoy the fruits of the labor that we're putting in. My next question is a little bit geared now towards family and perception. So you said, you know, you were going to law school, you know, working on a 9 to 5, a huge company. Nickelodeon is a huge company. And you know, left law school and now you're working in, you know, the fashion creative kind of industry with your company. Did anyone kind of give you like the side eye, like, what you doing? Because I know a lot of times when people do artistic ventures, especially fashion, painting, art, people are like, what's going on here. So did you get any results like that?
I'm blessed to have like an extremely supportive family.
That is,
yeah. Like they all contributed to my crowdfunding campaign. They all asked me like, how's things going? Like, is there anything we can help with? Like, I'm extremely blessed.
that is truly, truly amazing, because again, a lot of folks, they kind of, especially when you're going from such a huge shift like law to fashion, people are like, what is going on here? Are you still secure?
I feel like I had a good job already, so they were like, all right, she'll be fine.
Okay, nice.
I was just a student, and then dropped out like, oh, I'm just going to start a fashion business. It would have been, a little bit different of a journey because I wouldn't have been financially secure.
Nice. And so overall, though, what are your hopes for 925 Babe and just your entrepreneurial journey in general?
Oh yeah, so I feel like the ultimate goal for 925 Babe is to be like a New Yorking company for younger women. So like I want it to be like a storefront, like just how you see New Yorking company in every mall. I want you to see 925 Babe in every mall. And it's just like really for like people 18 through 30. So like if you're interning in college, there's a collection for you. You know right away, like, oh, I need clothes for work. I'm gonna go to 925 Babe. So pretty much, and then like when you get your promotion at work, oh, I got a promotion, I'm a manager now. There's an outfit for me at 925 Babe. Like I know that I need to step up my style to elevate to my new position. They got me. Nice. So that's really cool, like the number one spot for working women to buy clothing for work and to be in every mall.
Nice, congrats on that. And as this series is called The Misadventures of Entrepreneurship, can you talk a little bit about a misadventure that you had in the business this year?
There's a new misadventure that happens every day. You have to just constantly be able to pivot and recover. One thing I learned that if there's a problem, you need to resolve it immediately. Like, do not sit on any problems. So, for example, I feel like I'll let you guys in on a secret. A product that's like limited edition, it's most likely because like whoever your fabric supplier was did not have enough fabric for you to make it something that could fulfill orders. So like for example, the Rita jogger pants that are limited edition, that's exactly what happened. So just like, oh crap, what do? I love this fabric. I've made my samples with it. And like I want to sell it to everyone and like have everyone buy it and enjoy it, but there is no fabric left and there is no way on this earth that I can get that fabric. Like that's just the end of the story. So you kind of just need to be like, all right, well, even though I love this one, I have to find a new one. So that's how the regular Rita jogger pants came along. All right, here's another fabric. I love it. We're gonna do the same silhouette, the same pants with this one, and then like, all right, well, what do I do with the little bit I have? Limited edition. Still sell it, but we only have a few. So just little mishaps like that. But yeah, you just gotta be on it. I feel like I waited so long to find the new fabric, but I should have did it like immediately. And like that wait time actually kind of pushed back my launch a little bit. So stay on top of it for all the aspiring entrepreneurs. Just stay on top of your game.
Nice. And you keep saying we. Could you talk? Do you have like a team? Is it more so like a lot of freelancers plus yourself, a production team? Like who's working with on 925 Babe with you?
I work with a lot of freelancers, and then I normally use interns as well.
Nice.
Yeah, just freelancers and me, interns.
Cool. And I really have to just say thank you so much for like sharing that insight, because a lot of folks probably didn't know that, and especially if they are a clothing brand, they might think, oh, I have to. If I don't have it perfect, then I can't do that. But the limited edition tip, I'm pretty sure is going to help someone. As we're coming to the end of the interview, I like to ask folks what kind of advice or information or just steps that they want to give to somebody else out there that's an aspiring entrepreneur or is a current entrepreneur that might be stuck. Do you have any advice that you could offer for someone out there?
I would say take your time. So like you really need to take your time and pace yourself and don't be in a rush to launch. So by that, I mean, you need to do, and to be consistent. So you need to be consistently researching different things in your industry. So if you're in fashion, check out businessoffashion.com. There's a lot of insights on there. Research like your fabrics, like how they move, what they're used for, all that good stuff. And then build your audience, because when you launch, you're gonna wanna have like a potential customer base. So just kind of like getting on social media and building a really big following for your brand is super helpful, even before you have a product. Like say you want to sell streetwear. That's before you have your actual clothing that you design. Start like building a page that showcases streetwear, just so you know that audience is there. And then in addition to that, email list is very old fashioned, but your email list is your sales ultimately. Like that's who cared enough to subscribe to your page, and then that's who's gonna buy from you, and you'll always have access to them if you have their email.
Yeah, and I just want to go ahead. Sorry, you said something?
I was gonna say that's like my really big tips just for like the pre-launch page that will help you be the pre-launch stage, that will help you be successful after launch.
I want to thank you so much for mentioning the email list, because a lot of people forget that Instagram could shut down tomorrow. So even if you have 2.1 million followers, if you don't have their contact information in some other form or some other way, you'll lose that follower, that potential client. So definitely thank you for dropping that key. And thank you so much for being here today with us on Doing the Most, the Misadventures of Entrepreneurship. We'll definitely want to follow with you and hear your story in the future. Guys, if you want to know more about what Candace is doing and what 9 to 5 Babe is up to, feel free to check them out. Their information will be in the caption section. Order some clothes, because I know definitely I'm going to be checking it out and potentially ordering, because sweaters and hoodies are not doing it for me anymore. I got to level up and get, my babe on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Doing the Most. Catch us here next week, same time, same place. If you can't wait, head on over to doingthemost.xyz to stay connected. Until next time, keep on doing.